the views of India's strategic and diplomatic community. In fact, Harshvardhan Shringla, India's former foreign secretary, joins us also on the phone. Very good evening to you, Mr. Shringla.
Good evening.
And the fact that India has really named and shamed Justin Trudeau and now recalled its ambassador, you think this is the right step to take and to let the world community know the manner in which Canada is compromising India's territorial integrity and sovereignty?
No, absolutely. I think we have gone through a lot from Canada. And there have been a number of provocations which have been all on specious and unsubstantiated grounds. I think recalling a High Commissioner or Ambassador is a fairly major step in diplomatic relations. As far as I can recall, the only other country from whom we have recalled our High Commissioner is Pakistan. So from that perspective, I think this is quite a major step, and one that I think has been warranted from the recent actions of the Justin Trudeau government in sort of naming our High Commissioner and senior High Commission officials as persons of interest in their investigation, which, as I've mentioned before, has absolutely no shred of evidence to substantiate. It is clearly a political tool for domestic purposes, and the investigation itself, as the MEA has said, has been weaponized for domestic political purposes.
Right.
So clearly, it's also our safety and security that we have to be worried about. But in addition to that, it is a very major, I would say, gesture on the part of India to Canada that you cannot go on in this manner. Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Shringla, I believe Sucharita is just connecting. Till that, if I could ask a question to you, a follow-up question. The last time we heard of India withdrawing its envoy was, of course, Pakistan in 2019. In that sense, this is a major escalation. Do you recall any other country from which India has withdrawn its envoy because of a standoff in recent memory?
It's not recent, but clearly in the past we have done that. I think we have withdrawn our High Commissioner from Pakistan, but that's because they withdrew their High Commissioner also. But even earlier, we had withdrawn our High Commissioner. I think there are other instances in the past where we have taken certain steps, but most of the time it is done in a different way, where you just recall the ambassador and he doesn't go back. But here, I think it has been a deliberate act to call him back, and I think it is. It comes in the wake, as I said, of major provocations, repeated provocations from Canada's part, and I think there is no justification for the sort of shenanigans that we've had to put up with at the diplomatic level. And I think it is best that we send a fairly strong signal of displeasure to Canada and Justin Trudeau's government for their actions, in recent years, that have been directed against India's national interests.
And I think, Mr. Shringla, if you could just point it out to our viewers, because India has been very, very furious, and it has given out a clear message to Canada that it will not be taking the allegations lying down. And I think this messaging from India, how important do you think it is? Because India-Canada ties, when it comes to students, when it comes to work visas, is very, very important for both the countries. But India is giving out a clear message.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very clear statement. On our part, as you said, it's in diplomatic terms, this is a major step. Recalling a High Commissioner really means that you are maintaining diplomatic relations, but without a top envoy in place. And from that perspective, I think it is a strong message to the Canadian government. But from the point of view of the relationship, we have to still see the potential is there. We do have a people-to-people relationship. There are, as you mentioned, a lot of Indian students who do their higher studies in Canada, and that part of the relationship goes on. That is not affected. But certainly at the diplomatic level, this point has been made fairly seriously.
Mr. Shringla, because we are letting you go because we are told that you have to go somewhere. And Sucharita, this is hugest escalation that we have seen India carrying out in recent times when it comes to diplomatic partnerships. Canada traditionally would be seen as a friendly nation. but the manner in which it has conducted itself over the last couple of years under Justin Trudeau, it clearly smacks of a very personal hostility that Justin Trudeau seems to be having against India. And an example of which is that there are fugitives of law who have applied for Canadian permanent residency and they have been given citizenship. Their applications have been fast-tracked, and which sends a clear message that Canada would indulge, Canada would patronize, Canada would shelter and harbor anti-India elements. It has been doing so for a while, and it sort of has peaked under Justin Trudeau, particularly during his second term. And Justin Trudeau seems to be beholden to these elements, Khalistani separatists, and because of which we have seen parades taking place in Canada, in Ottawa, in Toronto, where we have seen India's leadership being targeted and threats to assassinate them being openly given. And the Canadian establishment has protected that under freedom of speech argument, and we have seen our ambassador facing threats, because of which the Canadian security agency